Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today the topic which we are going to discuss is the sedimentary rocks. And in the last video I have discussed with you all was the rocks, minerals and the igneous rocks. Okay, if you haven't been through the video, then the link is given in the description, so please go through it. So without much delay, without wasting time, let's begin today's topic, that is sedimentary rocks and the metamorphic rock, as well as rock cycle also I'm going to explain. Okay, so be with me. So sedimentary rocks, it's very simple, students. Okay, now sedimentary, the term which has been derived from the word sediments, which means with the broken fragments which has been brought down by the exogenic forces, okay, like eroding away the weathering, agents of weathering also we can say. Now they will erode away the highland area and they will bring the stuffs and deposit it in the low-lying areas, layer after layers. Okay, now that layers is also known as strata. Okay, now the over here, what happens to the deposited material over here? Now because of the overlying pressure, means the pressure of the upper layers, okay, as well as the internal pressure, the tectonic forces which will be moving inside the earth's surface. Okay, now this pressures will turn that loose sediments into solid rock. Okay, now the process of changing that loose sediments into solid rock is known as lithification. Okay, and the thing is that while changing from the loose sediments to the solid rock, sometimes in the rock maybe physical or the chemical changes can occur. Okay, now the physical and the chemical changes which occurs in the rock surface or in the rock is known, the process is known as diagenesis. Okay, so these are the different introduction to the sedimentary rocks. Now, or how the sedimentary rocks are formed. Now the characteristics we are moving on to. Characteristics of sedimentary rocks, since it has been formed from the different presence of different strata or the layers, it is known as stratified rocks. And it has been formed from the loose sediments, so definitely it will be soft comparing to the igneous rocks. It will be soft, as well as it will be porous in nature, means it will allow the percolation of water, not like the igneous rocks. Fossils are found. Okay, now again in the igneous rocks, fossils are not found because whatever comes in contact with the fire, it will be burned down to ashes. But whereas fossils are found in the sedimentary rock, it's because it has been formed by the embedding of the different layers, so it will remain preserved for a long period of time. Now do not have crystals. It has not formed from the solidification of the magma, molten material, so definitely crystals won't be present in the sedimentary rocks. Okay, next we have is the ripple marks. Since it has been formed from the deposition of the sediments under the water, so we will find the marks, okay, in a very wavy structure. Now those kinds of mark, if it is found, then it is known as ripple marks, which has been made by the water. Okay, now this was the sedimentary rocks, the formation of sedimentary rocks and the characteristics. Now we are going to move on the classification of sedimentary rocks. So as you can see over here, students, the sedimentary rocks has been classified on different bases. Okay, and we have various classification of sedimentary rocks also. So now let us discuss the classification or different categories of sedimentary rocks in its individual level. On the basis of origin, we have clastic and non-clastic sedimentary rocks. Okay, now clastic, the term, meaning of the term clastic means broken. Okay, now whenever a parent rock breaks down into or disintegrate into smaller pieces, now that smaller pieces is also the sediments of the parent rock. Okay, now that broken pieces is known as clastic sedimentary rocks. Okay, now in clastic sedimentary rocks, we won't see any physical or the chemical change occurring in the rock. It is directly derived from the parent rock. It will remain same like the parent rocks. Now next is the non-clastic sedimentary rocks. There are two types in non-clastic sedimentary rocks. They are the chemical precipitates and organically derived. Now as the name only suggesting over here, you might have an idea now, isn't it? Like chemical precipitates means It has been formed from the sediments which has been brought down by the like agents of exogenic forces like rivers and all. So the minerals or the chemicals which are present in the rock will be eroded away by the rivers, and it will be transported and deposited in the far away places. Okay, now those inorganic substances or the salts, when they combine together and formed a rock we know as sedimentary rocks, we term it as non-clastic sedimentary rocks, and in non-clastic it is of chemical precipitate variant. Okay, now the best example of the chemical precipitates will be rock salt and gypsum. So, here the organically derived sedimentary rocks. Okay, now as the name has only suggested, and you might have come like have an idea also now that organically derived means definitely from the remains of plants and animals. The rock which is formed is known as non-clastic sedimentary rocks of organically derived variant. Okay, now on the basis of composition, means what the sedimentary rock is composed of or it is consist of. So there are two types, organic and inorganic sedimentary rocks. Now as the name only is suggesting over there, organic and inorganic. Okay, now the thing is that over here the organic we have the carbonaceous and calcareous variant. So in carbonaceous, more amount of carbon content is there. When the terrestrial plants and animal are deposited, then we find more amount of carbonaceous rocks like coal. And if more amount of the marine plants and animals are deposited, then or the bed of the oceans and sea, when it is deposited, then the calcareous sedimentary rocks are formed. Okay, like chalk, talc and all, those are the examples of calcareous rocks. Okay, now the other type is the inorganic sedimentary rocks. And inorganic sedimentary rocks, there are two types, arenaceous and argillaceous. Okay, now in arenaceous sedimentary rocks, the term arenaceous has been derived from the Latin word arena. Okay, arena, which means sand. Okay, so more amount of sand if it is content, then it is known as arenaceous. So sandstone will be the best example of this. And argillaceous sedimentary rocks. Now argil, the term's meaning of the term argil, again from the Latin word, it is the clay. Okay, so more amount of clay if it is present in the sedimentary rocks, then definitely it will be the argillaceous sedimentary rocks. Okay, so this types of argillaceous rocks will be very soft. Okay, and it will be impervious. Okay, means it will not allow the water to percolate. Okay, over here, because the water content will already be high, so as a result the water won't be able to penetrate to the pores of the argillaceous rocks. Okay, and this type of rocks even form the bed of the aquifers also sometimes. So on the basis of the formation or even location also, we can say sedimentary rocks has also been classified into different types. Okay, so marine means when it is formed at the base of the ocean and sea, it is known as marine. Now when it is formed at the base of rivers, it is riverine. When it is formed at the base of lake, it is lacustrine. And when it is formed due to the deposition of the wind, okay, due to the blowing away of sand and deposit in far away places, leads to the form of sedimentary, is known as alluvial. And next we have is the glacial, means formed by the deposition of the glaciers, is known as glacial sedimentary rocks. Especially we see those kinds of things in the till plains or in a outwards plain. Now we will move on to the metamorphic rocks. So here metamorphic rock, students. So metamorphic rock, there are two terms in the metamorphic rock. One is meta and another one is morphose or morphic. So meta refers to the change and morphose refers to the form or a state. So when the existing rocks like igneous and sedimentary turns something into new, okay, or the change of state of igneous and sedimentary into something new, is known as metamorphic rocks. Now the question is that why the existing rock will change into a new form or a new state, is because if they are subjected again to the extreme pressure or the heat, okay, then the pre-existing rock can turn into something new. So while turning into something new, the physical and the chemical changes might occur in the rocks. The color, structure, texture, chemical composition might change when it gets into something new form. Okay, so that is known as metamorphic rock. So characteristics, we have 3: hard and compact, crystalline and banded textures. Okay, it will be definitely very hard, and crystals will form due to the heat, and banded means the different layering will also be closely, it will be seen, so it will be interlocking also, so that's the reason it is known as banded textures. Okay, so this was the metamorphic rock formations. Now let us see the classification on the basis of ascent and on the basis of zone of influence. It has been classified. So on the basis, we have dynamic and thermal. Now dynamic, it occurs because of the tectonic movements or the earth movement, also due to the extreme pressure, we can say. Okay, and movements also. Okay, so because of that, enormous pressure will be subjected to the existing sedimentary rocks, so as a result it will change into some other new form. Okay, so that is known as metamorphic. For example, coal only you take, isn't coal also moves from different variants. Okay, like from peat to lignite to bituminous to anthracite, isn't it? So what is happening over there? More amount of pressure on the peat, it will change into lignite. More pressure on the lignite, it will change into bituminous. More like pressure on the bituminous, it will change into anthracite. So over here also the form is of the peat, had changed into the anthracite variant. Okay, so the different phases, of course, but how it is happening is because of the extreme pressure caused on it. Okay, and that pressure can be of the earth movement as well as the overlying pressure also. Okay, so this kind of thing is known as dynamic. Now here chemical changes will not be there in the rocks, it will only physically only it will change. Okay, next is the thermal. Now thermal generally defined, the heat means heat. So definitely when the hot molten material comes in contact with the pre-existing rock, it will change into something new. Okay, so that will be known as thermal metamorphism. So on the basis of zone of influence, now regional. Okay, now again this is very similar to dynamic and thermal. Now due to the earth movement, okay, not only a specific or a small area will be influenced, but a whole region or a whole land mass will be under the influence. Okay, so that kind of the metamorphism, it takes place not only a small area but taking a large mass of area. If it is under the influence of the earth movement or change of the rock, then it is known as regional metamorphism. Now contact metamorphism, again it is the contact, again very related with the thermal. Now until and unless the heat does not contact with the the magma does not contact with the pre-existing rock, then the form will not change, isn't it? So definitely it is the contact metamorphism, when it comes in touch with something. Okay, so in dynamic, as you have learned, like physical state of the rock will only change, not the chemical composition. But in thermal, the chemical, the physical, both kind of changes in the rock can occur. Okay, so this was your metamorphic rocks. Now we have is the rock cycle. Now like the hydrological cycle, similarly we also have the the rock cycle also. Everything starts with magma and ends with magma. So for your understanding, it's a very simple diagram I have drawn over here, so you can follow up the diagram. Like magma, due to the cooling down, the solidification will take place and change into the igneous rocks. Now igneous rock, with the further denudation process, the weathering and all, okay, it will change into the sediments, isn't it? Exogenic forces. Now that sediments, due to the process of lithification, will turn into sedimentary rocks. Now once the sedimentary rocks has been formed, okay, again the weathering will act upon it and further it will change into sediments. Okay, so there is the to and fro movement between the sediments and sedimentary rocks. Now sedimentary rocks, when it is extreme pressure, when it is applied over here, then again it is changing into something else, something new, that will be metamorphic rock. Okay, now igneous rocks also, due to the extreme heat, it can change into the metamorphic form. Now once the rock has changed into metamorphic form, again it will be eroded away due to the weathering and all, will be changing into the sediments. Okay, from that sediments again it back to the sedimentary rock. Okay, now when the metamorphic rock again comes with the touch in comes in contact with the magma and this thing, it again turns into the lava. Okay, molten material, when it comes contact, then again it will turn into the magma. Okay, so everything, it starts from magma and ends in magma. But the thing is that this rock cycle process which is there, it won't happen over the years only. In 1 year only everything won't take place. Okay, not like the hydrological hydrological cycle, it may happen over the day only, but rock cycle takes a long period of time. It's a very slow process. Okay students, so this was the sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rock, and the rock cycle. So with this we come to the end of the video. Now I hope I was able to clear the topics, and if you like the video then please do hit the like button. Okay, of course, and share the video also, so that I will be helpful to other students also, as well as don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.